It's Mr. Elliott, and welcome to Biology Essentials video number 1. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about food webs. The specific food web that we're going to be looking at today is the Pacific Coastal Temperate Rainforest food web. The Pacific Coastal Temperate Rainforest is the largest coastal rainforest in the world. To be a coastal rainforest, the forest must have high annual precipitation with 33 to 105 inches per year, must be located within 93 miles of the coast, and have over 100 days of seasonal rain. This particular rainforest stretches from central Canada to northern California, and since the environment constantly hovers around 0 degrees Celsius, it is often affected by climate changes. These climate changes are brought upon by ocean currents such as El Niño and La Niña. Due to the underlying continental geologic landforms and low sea level of the area, the forests are very closely linked to marine ecosystems. It has a very mountainous terrain, dense forest, and is the last extent of old-growth forests in America. The Pacific Coastal Temperate Rainforest has lots of wetlands, coastal estuaries, glaciers, ice fields, and thousands of watersheds. There's lots of flooding due to glacier runoff, and currently glacier loss in the area is one of the highest amounts in the world. There's lots of biodiversity. It has 350 bird and mammal species, 48 amphibian and reptilian species, 25 tree species, hundreds of fungi and lichen species, and thousands of insect, mite, and spider species. The tree species vary by area. From Alaska to Vancouver Island is the Sitka spruce, western hemlock, and mountain hemlock. From Vancouver Island to Oregon, the Douglas fir, red cedar, and Sitka spruce are present, and from Oregon to Northern California, the Douglas fir and redwood are present. There are lots of fish, specifically salmon, and they live in the freshwater streams and rivers produced by the runoff from the glaciers. The forests reap the benefits of the nitrogen and phosphorus that the salmon provide. A food web shows the flow of energy through a community. This is the specific food web that we will be looking at from the Pacific Coastal Temperate Rainforest. The primary producers, which use photosynthesis to create their own food, are eaten by primary consumers. Next, the primary consumers are eaten by the secondary consumers. In this specific food web, small mammals such as mice, squirrels, and chipmunks are eaten by secondary consumers like weasels, raccoons, and predatory birds. Salmon is eaten by all 4 of the tertiary consumers, the lynx, wolf, bear, and cougar. Small insects are eaten by the shrew, amphibians such as frogs and salamanders, and birds. Deer and elk are both eaten by all 4 tertiary consumers. Small, non-predatory birds like blue jays are eaten by larger predatory birds like owls and eagles. Tertiary consumers eat what they can get from the primary consumers, and secondary consumers. The lynx gets its energy from the shrew, salmon, elk, and deer. The wolf eats the weasel, raccoon, salmon, elk, and deer. The bear and cougar both eat the salmon, elk, and deer. As you can see, all of the tertiary consumers have very similar diets. And so, to summarize, a food web shows energy flow in an entire community, unlike in a food chain, where it only shows the energy flow of a single organism. And there are food chains all around the world in all ecosystems. The Pacific Coastal Temperate Rainforest is particularly interesting because it is not like other rainforests closer to the equator that have completely different types of animals. So that's a quick overview of food webs, and I hope that it was helpful.